Alright, so here we have the Zvex Volume Probe. Pretty rare. Only made a handful of them back in the very early days of Zvex. But basically, other than what I just showed you, it's kind of the reverse of a Tremelo Probe, which was sort of the newer design of it. But basically the difference is that in this case, if you walk away from it, your guitar has a signal. On the Trem Probe, if you walk away from it while the pedal's engaged, you basically get silence. So where this comes in handy, or at least for me at least, why I really like the Volume Probe, is that when I'm playing with Trem, a lot of times I try and play where the attack is on the, the down part of the wavelength, or where the volume is basically zeroed out so that it sort of eats up the attack, or makes the attack kind of disappear. So I'll give you an idea. So here's kind of the rate of our Trem. So you can see the volume swell is sort of on the offbeat, and it's just more intuitive for me, at least, to play, because when I'm tapping my foot with the beat and the volume swells are on the offbeat, it's much easier to do with the Volume Probe than it is to do with the Trem Probe, where you basically have to try and tap your foot on the offbeat if you want to try and get the same effect. So other than that, which is probably the coolest thing I like about it, or almost even the second coolest thing, because what I do want to show is, I've got an Inventobox next to it, which is set up for just a super hard-on, and the second switch is set up for the tonestack. But here's the dry amp sound. It's just jazz master into a high watt on the neck pickup. Here's with the Volume Probe engaged. And here's with the standard super hard on. That's apparent on there, because there's at least in real life, coming out of the speaker, it almost seems like the Volume Probe sounds like a more hi-fi, kind of crispier version of the super hard-on. And it's definitely not more like the treble is not like irritating or grating. It's a real sweet treble, but it's I don't know. It just seems to have a little bit more clarity and pleasantness. So while I'm on this, I might as well show you what the show sounds like going through a tone stack. So here's the show straight up, and here's the show through this tone stack. The controls, basically bass, mid, and treble dimed, it certainly gives you more of a mid scooped. I really like dialing the treble back a little bit. Kind of gives my high watt a little more of a Fender amp, blackface amp tone. But anyhow, so again, here's the Volume Probe. just like I say, a little bit more definition and crispiness and clarity on the treble end of the whatever the boost circuit is in the volume probe. I prefer it slightly. I even emailed z.vex to ask him what difference. I haven't heard back from him, but I'm telling him he should come back out with this, mainly from maybe with the standard plate, but just because you can get the trem effect I talked about earlier on the downbeat instead of the upbeat, I guess. I don't know. The control on here is kind of, it's soccer shoe. It's almost like it's sort of a volume boost a little bit, but more or less sets like the sensitivity on this. So if I was wearing socks, I could move this up. In fact, I'm always wearing moccasins, so I might as well show you my awesome socks. So anyhow, that's it, the volume probe. Like I say, z.vex didn't get back to me on if there's a difference between the circuit that's in there, the boost circuit that's in there, as opposed to the super hard-on, but whatever's in there sounds better, and I don't know what it is, but he didn't respond to me, so knowing z.vex, it probably means like the delay pedal that he's never going to reissue it, or like the delay pedal, he's never going to make one, no matter how much people bug him. He's probably never going to make another volume probe or volume probe-esque type of pedal, which is a real shame because I really like it, but it's not a shame for me because I have it. But alright guys, I'll talk to you later.